Mercedes suffered yet another frustrating Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix as Lewis Hamilton finished 13th after getting caught in a DRS train behind AlphaTauri's Pierre Gasly. Team principal Toto Wolff apologised to Lewis Hamilton over the team radio after the race for providing him with an undrivable vehicle. Mercedes' chances of winning the championship now looks grim, and to add insult to injury, Hamilton was lapped by eventual race winner Max Verstappen. It is safe to say the team will have a difficult time regaining their former glory. During an interview, Hamilton was asked about his frustration with the team's position after competing for wins in every year of the turbo hybrid era, and he responded as follows. "It's been difficult and it's definitely not easy, but we all feel it as a team. And at least George got some points today for the team, so apologies to everyone that I wasn't able to do so." Porpoising has held Mercedes behind so far this season, forcing the team to operate its W13 at a somewhat higher ride height than it was built for. Raising the platform cost it a lot of downforce, but the team is certain that if it can turn off the porpoising, it will be able to unlock a lot of speed by running the car where it was designed. The team has worked hard to get to the root of the problem, and now it hopes to bring advancements to Miami that will give it a clear indicator of whether or not it has adequately addressed the problem. The changes, according to trackside engineer director Andrew Shovlin, may not immediately address all of Mercedes' problems, but it will at least clarify if the company is on the right track. Shovlin commented in the team's weekend post-race weekend analysis video. "We know where we are at the moment. We know that gap that we need to make up to get to where we want to be. But as a team, we are very focused on the engineering challenge that this is. And it is a very interesting engineering challenge. There are problems that are new to us, that we need to get on top of and understand that there is an enormous amount of energy back here going into that. But day by day, we are moving forward. We are learning more about it, and hopefully soon, maybe as soon as Miami, we can start to bring some parts to the car that will hopefully give us an indication on whether or not we are moving in the right direction. We're not expecting to solve this overnight, but if we can get a clue that we are going in the right direction, that we really got to the bottom of what is going on, then we will be quite pleased that we are just moving on the right path." Team principal Toto Wolff said during the Imola weekend, where the team had a rough time keeping up with even some in the midfield, that the team merely needed to find a method to unlock the W13's potential. "I think we have a direction. We know how to unlock the potential that is within the car that would bring us much, much closer. But at the moment, we haven't got the key. And therefore, you just need to grind away and you just need to continue to rely on the science and physics before spiraling in some kind of negative momentum." When Shovlin was asked to elaborate on Wolff's remark, he said, "It is obviously a bit of a cliche, but the reality is we can't run the car where we designed it to be run. We're having to run higher ride heights, and by running higher ride heights, it's got less performance." Now that might be true for almost every car on the grid, as lots of people are suffering with this problem, but we know that lifting the car is a way of alleviating it. A lot of the work that is going on in Brackley has been to understand the phenomenon and whether we can actually control it, whether we can engineer it out of the car. And when Toto talks about finding the key, what he's really talking about is there an aerodynamic solution that we can apply to the car that will make this problem go away? Now, being realistic, we think this is something that we can approach in steps rather than one big movement where the whole thing vanishes. But we're seeing encouraging signs. As I said, we're hoping to bring parts to the car soon, maybe even Miami, where we can hopefully see progress on this issue. While Mercedes works on car developments in the hopes of overcoming its problems, Hamilton stated that he does not expect a dramatic turnaround before the Grand Prix in Miami. When asked if he was excited for the new race, he replied, "I can't say that I'm particularly looking forward to it at the moment, but I'm sure during the week I'll get into a positive frame of mind. I'll be at the factory tomorrow to work with the guys to see what we can improve." But while Hamilton struggled to make headway over the weekend, his teammate George Russell did not. Russell made a strong start from 11th on the grid at Imola and finished 4th in the difficult wet-dry event, while his British compatriot was nowhere to be found. Russell finished ahead of Hamilton for the third race in a row, after finishing 5th in Jeddah and 3rd in Australia. But the former Williams driver claims their disparity in results at Imola was due to circumstances and that he isn't comfortable writing off his experienced teammate. I think it's just how things fall sometimes in a race weekend. I made a very strong start. I don't know what happened with Lewis at the start, but we are equally struggling. And when the car is so far out of bed, it's not in the right window, it doesn't really feel like a proper racing car to drive. And especially, we're struggling with the tyre warm-up. Friday was 13 degrees and it was just a nightmare to drive. I expect him to come back so strong, and the way he's pushing and motivating the team is inspiring. I'm not getting comfortable with this position because I know what he's capable of. Russell also suggested that 3 years with a largely uncompetitive Williams were good preparation for dealing with the difficult Mercedes W13, which Hamilton claimed in Imola was not far off the disastrous 2009 McLaren, which he considers the worst of his F1 career. It's just been a really difficult position for us as a team, and perhaps with my struggles at Williams driving very difficult cars, maybe that's helped in some small regard. Q1 and Q2 for us now is massively important, whereas previously for Mercedes, that was a breeze. It was almost like a build-up session getting ready for Q3. As I said, Lewis is going to come back incredibly strong, I have no doubt, and he's definitely going to push me all the way. While the team is working hard to improve their car and eventually compete for wins again, they cannot deny they have reached a new low in Imola. Many have even suggested that Mercedes boss Toto Wolff is not the right person for the job of restoring Mercedes' former glory. With Mercedes having won 8 consecutive F1 Constructors' Championships, Wolff has had plenty of opportunities to sell his stake in the team and walk away from Grand Prix races unbeaten. However, when asked if he had considered cashing out his millions to retire to the Maldives during his current dark spell, Wolff demonstrated just how committed he is. The problem is that I'm dead in the Maldives without what I'm doing here. The activity in the team, developing the team, is what I really enjoy. Formula One is booming. On the revenue side, things are going very well, and this is what I actually want to do with my life. In that respect, the question hasn't arisen until now to say, that's it. It would be like a project manager or an employee saying, I've done this now, I'll go out with the best record and that's it. But it doesn't stop with me, it's going on. So to put it mildly, the speculation about Wolff's retirement is nonsense. If anyone has the expertise and ability to get the team out of this mess, it's the person who led the same team to 7 championship doubles. Nonetheless, Mercedes is facing its most difficult campaign in the turbo hybrid era, and Wolff believes the results this season have been a valuable learning experience, and the fact that no one in F1 is invincible. While the team's 2022 car lacks speed, he believes the engineers can turn things around and make rapid progress. When asked if he thought the team's personnel had lost their ability, Wolff said, "My spontaneous answer to you would be, you can't unlearn it, but then the track teaches us something else." It's also about always staying humble, and that's what we are. And saying, shit, we really got it wrong. You have to accept that now. Where did we go wrong? In my time, we did 8 out of 8 strikes, and now we've really gone wrong. It's not like we're just 3/10 off. But in terms of our personality development and the values of our team, as bad as it feels, this is an important development. There is no one who is infallible. We're seeing that right now, but the team is capable of turning things around. With Formula One coming to Miami in early May, Mercedes' tasks remain enormous, and the upgrades they are planning will certainly not solve all of their problems. However, one hopes that is a step in the right direction. What do you think about the upgrades Mercedes is bringing to Miami? Will they be a major step in the right direction? We'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to click the bell button to be notified of future videos.